My name is Ricky Rodriguez, head coach of the Northern Illinois Huskies, my alma mater, former coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes and Memphis Tigers. But I didn't always go to Northern Illinois, and this is my story. I got a text from a local newspaper asking me a few questions, and this is prior to my commitment as a recruit. I was a halfback growing up in Milwaukee, watching the Bucks, and I really wanted to play football since most of my friends were playing soccer. So I answered a few questions, and they got back to me and said that they would post my story in a newspaper. This story ended up getting out to a bunch of coaches, and I got recruited hard by Eastern Michigan, Akron, and Western Kentucky University. But none of these schools seemed to satisfy me. There were some other MAC schools, but no really big schools. So I ended up taking an offer from Wisconsin, staying close to home, and coaches said that there would be a possibility I could be a starter. My first day on campus, I got acclimated with the offensive coordinator, and he wanted to know what I can do. And I told him I wanted to show off my skills right away. So I went to practice, and that's what I did for quite a long time. Practiced, and practiced, and practiced. My first set of practice went pretty well. I got some trucks, scored some touchdowns, learned some plays, and the competition was a little more fierce than what I was used to. But I really thought that I could make a difference right away for this school that's close to home. And I don't think the coaching staff saw that otherwise. They really kind of blew smoke up my butt when they offered me a scholarship, considering they knew that I wanted to stay closer to home. But that's another story here soon. So of course, I got into the halfback room, and the starting halfback asked me a question. I did text him and agree to help him out just because I was the underclassman, and I was soon to be taking his job. I was almost positive of it. But I think the coaching staff had otherwise. They had me doing some other drills to work on getting some of my skills, and these drills were a little more difficult than I expected. But I did catch on pretty quick and figured out what what they were looking for and what I needed to do. And hopefully this would show Coach to put me in the first game, because I really didn't come to Wisconsin to practice. So we had our first game, and coming out of this tunnel was incredible. The atmosphere at Camp Randall was more than I can imagine. And I was hoping I did enough in the first couple weeks of practice to show the coaching staff I deserved a chance to play. And, well, we were taking on Western Michigan, a school that didn't want me, didn't really recruit me. And I was hoping to get some action. But that didn't end up working out, and we ended up winning 45-13. But the first home game of my college career at Camp Randall was absolutely incredible. I also got a text about a couple days later from a tight end, and he wanted me to fulfill my freshman duties, so of course I did. And my academic advisor texted me too and told me what to expect and how I could keep my grades up to play football. But I didn't really care about my grades at this point. All I wanted to do was play football and go pro. And I figured Wisconsin was the place to be. Another week of practice, I showed the safety what was up. He really didn't like me, and I think that's because every chance I got, I trucked him. I was a bigger dude, willing to run over people. I usually put my body on the line, and I showed him what's up a few times during practice. To be honest, the entire defense at Wisconsin really didn't like me. They didn't like the fact that I played 110% even in practice, while we were only supposed to be going 70. So when I laid the lumber on them, they didn't like it too much. So after our second game, which I thought I was a lock to play, the coaching staff just stared at me and we won 51-7. It was an FCS school, and I thought I should be in, but I never got the chance. We also played Alabama a week later and beat them, so we were 3-0. I did some more drills. I got a text from my academic advisor, and of course, I practiced again. Coach had me working on some drills where I could improve my juke and my speed abilities. And of course, it also worked out endurance, but I didn't really feel like I needed to work on any of this. Yet, here we were at practice, doing it some more. We finally finished our first loss against Purdue. And of course, the offensive coordinator knew I was sitting the bench because they didn't even look my way. So he gave me a quick quiz, and I passed 3 out of 4. He wanted to make sure that I was learning the offense and I knew what was going on. So he had me answer some questions over text, and of course, I answered. But I just wanted to play. I wanted them to put me in. I wanted to get some game time, especially since we were 4-1 and looking like we were heading to a Big Ten title. Unfortunately, we lost to Rutgers.